right now, folks. We should not be sitting here excited with 53 seats because we have Vance as the 54th vote. They stole Arizona, they stole Michigan, they stole Wisconsin, and they stole Nevada. There's no question about it. So as great as DOGE is, the Department of Government Efficiency, I think it's a wonderful idea. We do need to kind of temper expectations. You got to understand that Congress are the ones that control the purse strings there. But they are going to be able to do certain things. And one of the reasons they will is because of the Supreme Court's decision on the Chevron doctrine. What that did is the Chevron doctrine was basically where if there was an ambiguous rule or law or whatever it may be, is it shaking? I'm sorry.
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Okay, no problem. And so the Chevron doctrine said that if there was an ambiguity in result of a law or whether something was going to be right or wrong or indifferent, they gave it and they punted to the agency, the state, basically the government. Well, that was changed, and because that was changed, that is one reason why DOGE can be and will be successful, because now it's not just up to giving it to the benefit of the doubt of the government. It's not that anymore, and that's why DOGE can actually work. And so we got to think about that, because there's going to be a lot of decisions that are going to be made. Some of them, as Shane correctly pointed out, are going to be fights, and they're going to be fights for what's going to be paid for, what's not going to be paid for, and things like that. But I'm so glad we're not in the minority right now, and we're not the resistance anymore. The real fight and the real battle starts now. And this is the fun battles. These are the good battles. These are the ones where we're in control, but we're also going to put that pressure onto these folks. We're going to make sure that President Trump and his administration and the RINOS and the establishment do not get in the way. That's where the activists come from, all of us. We have to be engaged in this process. That is one thing that I talk about in my book, Preserving Liberty, which is basically what is happening right now in Washington. And I talk about different ways to solve a lot of different problems. But like I said, we definitely dodged a bullet. As I said earlier, all of these cabinet members will serve. And if we can get Matt Gaetz as Attorney General for 7 months, that's enough time. Certainly, if you can't get a confirmation of an up and down vote, that's plenty of time to clean house, okay? And so, and like you mentioned, it could even be another additional 210 days. But, there's somebody here that's not here today, and we have to be thinking about her, and that is Kari Lake.
Yeah.
Kari Lake got robbed not once, but twice. And I will stand up here with 100% certainty to say that there's absolutely no way that we patriots would go out and we would vote early or on election day for President Trump and go, I think I'll vote for the commie Gallego instead of her.
I know.
Really? So here's the thing. We talk about DOGE. DOGE is a great idea. How about a Department of Election Integrity?
Yeah.
How about a Department of Election Integrity?
Give it to Kari.
You know what? Absolutely. And and if it's not that, if they don't want to create that, which again they can do with an executive order, it doesn't take much. You don't have to do much other than just say we're going to create this and we're going to staff it, and that's it. It doesn't have to be permanent. Just like DOGE, it's the only government agency that's going to be created with its intent to end after its job is done. Imagine that. A government, agency or committee or commission or whatever it is. But remember, they don't have the cutting power. They can request, they can recommend that you should cut this, or we recommend that. And so we have to kind of understand those expectations. But a Department of Election Integrity, if you put someone like Kari Lake in front of that, could you just imagine? She could then hire so many other great election people, people that are experienced in forensic audits and things like that. And we could go through 50 states, or if you're Barack Obama, 57 states, but I digress. And we could go through all 50 states, every single one, and we can go through their voter rolls, and we can clean them all up, and we have to get rid of no-fault absentee balloting and mail-in balloting. Look, it does not say anywhere in the Constitution that you have a right to vote by mail.
Yeah.
It doesn't say it anywhere. And so this is a new concept that has been bastardized over time. It was originally for the the military and, I guess people that were infirmed and things like that. But they have taken it to a new level. Like Rahm Emanuel once famously said, never let a good crisis go to waste, right? So they've been able to use this and continue to do what they're doing. This has to stop. It absolutely has to stop. If we pass the SAVE Act, which will mandate voter ID in every state, regardless of what any state's law is, and it'll also, of course, eliminate all non-citizens from voting in elections. If we even get just those two things done, think about how much better our elections would be. Think about this for a second. Out of every state that heels up Headboard Harris, as I call her on my show, won, not one of them that she won required voter ID.
That's right.
Every state that she won didn't have voter ID. So if we had voter ID, how many states do you think she would have won? 8, 9, maybe?
New York, California.
Yeah, if that. And remember, this country is finally waking up. When you see that New York was in 11 points, I mean, New York is a state that typically is 25, 30, 35-point victory. It went by 11, okay? The entire country, 49 out of 50 states, moved 4.8 percentage points to the right. The swing states moved 3.2 percentage points, which is odd that the swing states didn't move as much as the rest of the country, but whatever. And so that's a pretty big amount. And when you think about it, that means that someone like a Scott Pressler, who's going to pretty much just camp himself next door to my old stomping grounds of New Jersey, where I'm originally from, and he's going to just set up shop. And he's going to turn that state red for 2026. And look at the job that Turning Point Action and Charlie Kirk's organization, as well as Scott Pressler and Early Point Action did. I mean, we were very, very aggressive this time. Unfortunately, none of us like to vote early, but we kind of had to change. At least I never did. I was always an election day voter. But after what they did here in Maricopa County in 2022 with 60% plus machines going down on election day, there was no way we could take that chance again. And so we adapted, and we went back out there and we did things a little bit different, and it worked, and we won. But like I said, Kerry Lake should be a senator. Sam Brown should be a senator. Mike Rogers should be a senator. And Eric Hove in Wisconsin should be a senator. But just remember, the fight is just beginning. But these are the good battles, okay? These are the good battles. When you see a video of Matt Gaetz destroying XYZ, or Jim Jordan doing whatever it is that he's doing, it looks good, it sounds great, it's got clicks, all that great stuff, but pardon my language, it's mental masturbation, okay? Now that we are back in control, back in power, now we can really, truly exact change. And that's where the grassroots comes in to this equation, and we have to be ready, willing, able to fight and fight and fight every single day, because there's going to be so many people that are going to try to derail this, would you agree, once in a lifetime opportunity practically?
Yeah, I would say it was a populist victory, not a red wave.
Correct.
Don't
She's
make
right.
that mistake.
Yeah.
We had a lot of different factions come together. You'll never see that again in our lifetimes.
Right.
2026 is going to be a heavy lift.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have Trump on the ballot. And it's very, very important that we all turn out and start now, because we cannot rest on our laurels at all.
Exactly.
We have to win the governorship back to get our state back. And it's gonna be hard. I mean, the Democrats will spend tens of millions of dollars.
And they'll overspend.
And
Yeah, and we have to remember this too. The other part about this is that they're angry. They're shocked that they lost. They're cutting their hair off. They're shaving their heads. They're abstaining from sex. They're doing all these crazy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, isn't that interesting? They were so worried about abortion, but yet now they don't want to procreate, so they're not going to have abortions. So, okay, whatever works for you. But the bottom line is they're going to be aggressive. They're going to regroup. You're going to have the Soros groups. You're going to have all these, money laundering operations like Act Blue, which hopefully that'll get shut down pretty soon. If not Paxton, maybe it'll be Gates. And so there's a lot of people on the left that are upset. And the women are going to come out. They're going to get organized. So we have to be ready for that. We have to be able to fight back against that. I know that history says that in a new coming administration, typically in the midterm of that year, they usually lose, if not one, sometimes both houses of Congress. We cannot allow that to happen, because then it'll be impeachment day every single day. They'll try their garbage. They'll block our agenda. So I just want to make sure that people understand, as you just mentioned, Wendy, President Trump may have won, but that doesn't mean that the Republican Party is now 100% in sync with President Trump and his victory. So there's going to be a lot of rhinos that we are going to have to take and fight against. I wanted to also just let everybody know, this book, Preserving Liberty, Wendy actually was nice enough to endorse it. And it says, Josh is a constituent in my rural district who I've known for years. He loves his country and seeks the truth always. Wendy Rogers, State Senator. Thank you so much, Wendy. But also, I wrote this book, and it came out October 8th. So I didn't know 100% whether or not we were going to win this election. I had a feeling. I had a prayer. I was praying every single night, all this stuff. And this is now the blueprint to help with what's happening in Washington. We are putting together a Justice League heroes team. Okay, these are like Superman, Batman, all these different superheroes. It's just amazing. But this book is also a radically pro-limited government approach to all the different things that are going wrong. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I'll give you an example. Does anybody know who the FISA court and the judges are and how they are appointed? Does anybody know? Anybody at all? I'm sure Shane knows. But anybody? Okay. Did you know that the FISA court, which has been around since the 1970s, has a 99.9% acceptance rate on all warrants? Okay? There's 11 judges on this court. They work in secret. They answer to no one. And the worst part is they are all appointed. Every judge is appointed by one person. Anybody want to guess who that person is?
The Attorney General?
Nope. Anybody?
George Soros.
John G. Roberts Jr. of the U.S. Supreme Court, a rhino. He's the one that appoints every single judge on that court. So why would we allow the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court to pick these 11 people and allow them to rubber stamp, sorry, I'm making the noise again, our freedoms away each and every day? They work as a parallel court. They have just as much power, maybe even more power, than the U.S. Supreme Court. So one of the things that I talk about is reining in the FISA court. At the very minimum, we should take this away from John G. Roberts and the Supreme Court and force these judges to go through a Senate advise and consent, Senate confirmation process. Okay? At a very minimum. Okay? There's a lot more solutions in this book than that, but I'll give you one other thing. Does anybody have any idea how many registered lobbyists there are in Washington, D.C.?
Too many. I know.
Take a guess.
30,000.
30,000?
200,000.
No. 12,500. But how big is D.C.?
Not very big.
68.5 square miles. You have almost 200 lobbyists per square mile in that city. My chapter 4 is literally titled Dismantling Washington. And I talk about with technology and how we have Zoom and we have GoToMeetings and Google Meets and all these different things. There is no reason why these 535 members of Congress and the lobbyists need to be there on a permanent basis. So I talk about how to disperse the power structure away from Washington and give it back to its rightful owners, we the people. You know, there's 3,142 counties or county equivalents in the United States of America. Guess where 50% of the entire population lives?
On the East Coast.
East Coast.
144 counties.
Oh,
So that means if you live in one of those 2,998 counties, you virtually have zero say in who your elected officials are. So how can we sit here with a straight face and call ourselves a representative government of, for, and by the people when 5% of the people are making the decisions for the other 95%? Those are the types of things that you will find in this book. My goal when I wrote it was to give the reader audible gasps at the information that you read. I want you to grab your glasses and go, does that really what that says? And you're going to find out that it does. It's an easy read. It's 157 pages. This is the type of book you want to use a yellow highlighter in your hand while you're reading it. So if you want and you'd like to grab a copy or so, I will sign them for you. They're only $20. They're $30 brand new without being signed on Amazon, but I have about 20 of them right now. So if you want them, we can give them out to you. But
we should.
just understand this, okay? That tyranny is sold as convenience. Okay, I want people to understand that. Tyranny is sold as convenience. Oh, just click this little button on this voting machine that's not plugged into the internet, right? That's how we have been able to lose our freedoms and lose our elections. And remember, free and fair elections are the bedrock of our republic. We are not a democracy. How many times does the word democracy show up in the Constitution? Anybody? Thank you. 0 times. And if someone doesn't believe we're a republic, just ask them to recite the Pledge of Allegiance and stop at the part where it says, and to the republic for which it stands. So now is when the fight starts. God bless each and every one of you. God bless President Trump. God bless America. And let's get after it. And let's fight, fight, fight.